Thank you very much, Bob. I'm sorry I can't let you eat your lunch before I get going, but the reason we're here in the first place, members of the House, is because we're having our reorganization meetings starting at 1 o'clock. And believe me, we all want to be there so we can put our oar in the water for whatever it is is going to be offered to us. But I wish you all a good afternoon. I thank you for inviting me today because as co-chair of the Progressive Caucus, it is a total pleasure to be working with the Campaign for America's Future in putting this event together and looking out at all of you and hearing the vitality and the excitement in all of your conversations, and you've been here since this morning, so you must be having some pretty wonderful speakers, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this, and thank you for inviting me to be able to introduce your keynote speaker, Dr. Galbraith. I'll introduce him in a minute, but I am a politician and I do have a microphone in front of me. And I want to say a few words about the work that we're all doing and the huge challenge we have ahead of us in the United States of America, which, you know, flows over to the rest of the world. What happens here makes a huge difference to our entire world economy and the people in the rest of the world. Because of failed leadership and the destructive hands-off policies of the Bush administration, America now finds itself in the worst economic shape since the Great Depression. We have a failing financial system that's been running wild. We have a foreclosure crisis causing hardworking Americans to lose their homes, climbing unemployment figures, and an energy policy that sends hundreds of billions of dollars overseas for foreign oil. While despite the overwhelming scientific evidence of the dangers of fossil fuels, we continue to pump more carbon into the air, deepening our crisis for global warming. This problem is extremely serious. No one, particularly me, should try to sugarcoat it. But there is a bright spot in all of this. We have a common solution to some of this, at least. What America needs, and what America needs as quickly as we can deliver it, is a commitment to funding our domestic priorities with a bold infusion of resources. The most obvious domestic need, of course, is our crumbling infrastructure. It's time for a New Deal to re-energize America, to get people back to work, and solve the most pressing problems of our time. We need to get America back to work, and there is no greater way to do that than by repairing and building new infrastructure. And we must do it at once, and we must do it once and for all. We must create new sources of energy to get us to real energy independence. At the same time, we can solve and will solve the problem of global warming. This can be done, but it will take the leadership of the federal government. It will take the partnership with the private businesses in our country. This initiative that we need to put in place would create millions of high-paying jobs, jobs that will strengthen America's working families, jobs that will stabilize our economy. That's why Congresswoman Barbara Lee and I have been calling for a second stimulus package to target the nation's infrastructure needs and to create green jobs. We included the stimulus in an amendment to the fiscal year 2008 congressional budget. Our alternative progressive budget clearly demonstrated that with $300 billion, that doesn't seem like much when we know what we're spending in Iraq, but with an expenditure of $300 billion, we can rebuild our nation's crumbling infrastructure, we can jumpstart our faltering economy in just 10 years. We also proposed a new Apollo project to transform energy policy to safe, clean, renewable energy sources that will lead the world in responsible and cheap energy, which can be funded without breaking the bank. By reforming our tax policy to be more progressive, by cutting $60 billion in unneeded defense spending and bringing our troops home from Iraq, this can all be accomplished while balancing the budget at the same time.